What is up, YouTube? Currently walking to the spot I want to record at. As you can tell, it's a little deeper into the woods than it usually is. Just wanted to change things up, and I have a pretty special topic I want to talk about today. I myself I kind of feel convicted to talk about this because, well, a lot of things have been challenging me. You know, old stories, old things have been popping back into my head, old stresses, old programs, and one thing that's always stayed consistent is God. One thing that's always told me to do the right things, that led me the right way, that's always taken care of me when I need to be taken care of, was, my provider, my source, God. And this is what this video is going to be all about, right? Being able to truly surrender your life to God. Truly just let go and live life on an easier mode, easier status. And the reason why I know this works is because, well, I've coached dozens of people. I've helped my friends and family overcome their own mental challenges, own mental limitations, just about random stuff, about stresses, anxiety, just to give them peace of mind. Of course, with my clients, worked one-on-one with me, have multiple calls with them. I've helped them get their life together, connect their desires with God, and so they can start going with their purpose. Sorry, I'm losing a little bit of breath. I can't walk like this too much. But yeah, stick around if you are interested in that. And I'm getting to my spot soon. And I made it. I think I'm centered. I don't know if I am actually, but I'm obviously free flowing here. I did make a YouTube video going over it more structurally, more organized. So if you are interested in watching that, but I wanted to add more things to it because I feel like what I've learned recently, at least in this last week or two, just through experience, has been honestly life changing. Right now. One thing I always tell my friends and family is that, like, everything that goes on in our head, whether it's stress, whether it's anxiety, whether it's fear, whether it's just, we're trying to control outcomes, trying to predict outcomes, it's all fake, okay? And now that might be hard to understand, that'd be hard to even accept, because trust me, once I realized, like, hey, everything really is fake, it's so much harder to accept and react than it actually is, because easier said than done is what I'm trying to say. Because, well, we're so used to clinging on to those outcomes we want. We're so used to clinging on to the predictions to make ourselves feel a little more comfortable, or even victimize ourselves to make ourselves feel stressed, right? But one thing I want you to realize, okay, is that every single time we've been worried, every single time we've been stressed, the things just played out. They played out the way they're supposed to play out, and we're still here to this day being able to watch this video. We're still able to have the occupation we have, or whatever circumstance you're in. It's perfect the way it is, because if it wasn't, then it wouldn't have happened in the first place, okay? And that's kind of the way I've been living life these days. It is what it is. It's such a common thing I say to myself, because, well, if something isn't supposed to happen, for instance, money's been a very big thing in my life. I've always sort of had this attachment towards money, whether or not that, as I had an attachment towards it. I always put it on a pedestal. I always made it seem much more than it actually is, which eventually kind of like led me away from it. It kind of like pushed me away from it. Always created that separation between me and money. And so that's old programs, old stories, old things in my subconscious that I always used to play. And I thought I was over it. Every single day I was working on it. Every single day I was getting better and better on just letting go of those old stories, letting go of those old programs, letting go of those old thinking patterns, right? And so last week, I came back from the beach, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little drained from the beach. I was helping my parents out, whatever. Honestly, I didn't have much money to get in there to begin with. But I coach soccer. I like do one-on-one thing. That's what I used to do before this. I played soccer for like 13 years of my life. So yeah, that's what I did, right? And so I used that skill set to train kids. I train kids one-on-one. I love doing it, right? And that's kind of like my main source of income, one-on-one. But of course, that relies on, other people in a way. Kind of like relies on them to pay me, or pay me on time, or if they're going on vacation, well, then what am I doing for 2 weeks, etc. And so stuff like that, right? That's all in my head. It's always like, how am I going to make money for this week? Who am I going to train this week to make money? What if they don't say yes? What if they're busy? What if they don't answer? What if they don't pay me? And that's such a common thing that goes inside my head, right? Or at least that I don't want it to be, but I'm just accepting it. It does go through my head. And lately, I used to be a lot better at just not giving it attention, letting it go and giving it to God, which is what I want to get to. But lately, I've been so, like, into it. Like, I've been like, man, I really do need to pay attention because my money was running low, right? I'm not even lying, I for real had like cents inside of my account for like a day, and it was bad. Like, I literally couldn't get anything, right? But I really think that God was trying to teach me something, like, hey, He's always going to be there when I need Him. He's my source. If I ever need money, money will come to me no matter what, right? And yeah, this last 2 weeks, it's been proven. Like, this not random, but these old clients that I haven't trained in months, I'm talking since like January, hit me up out of nowhere saying, hey, can we do a couple training sessions for the whole entire week? I'll pay you this, that, and this, and we'll get this thing sorted. There's a dragonfly or whatever flying in my camera. And yeah, so I was like, man, that's just a blessing. That's like, it just came to me, But of course, the worry, the doubt, everything just happened again right after. And so, a couple practices were missed, and because I got sick. And then my ego mind, the you can call it the enemy, the ego mind, the mind itself, it started going crazy again. It was like, oh, what if I miss this payment? How am I going to afford this next week? This, right? Once I sat down and realized, right, I'm sure you guys can relate to this type of story before. If I can sit down and just stop thinking, and if I could just stop putting so much attention to the things I don't want, stop putting so much focus on the mind or what the ego thinks. The ego, if I haven't told you before, if you haven't watched my videos before, just think of it as the enemy. At least on this point of video, I don't have too much time to explain it. I don't want to explain it, honestly. If I go over it a lot in my other videos, but yeah, just think of it as the enemy trying to induce you with your old stories, old programs, old habits you're trying to get out of. Okay, keeping you in that limited self. I just stopped giving it. I stopped giving the stress. I stopped giving the anxiety. I stopped giving the fear. I stopped giving the trying to control, predict the outcomes. I let it go. I said, hey, they're gonna come because those old programs are so like deeply enrooted in me that it's gonna come. But as long as I don't give it attention, as long as I just let it be there, hey, it's okay that I'm stressing, or not me, but the ego, the enemy is trying to make me stress. It's okay that it's here inside of me. I allow it to be here. I surrender it to you, God. You are my source, okay? And that's what, honestly, blind faith and trust and everything you want in life is about. Because if you're able to really put your feet down, ground your feet and say, hey, God is my source. I don't need anything else, no matter what I see, hear, or think may happen. I know that God's going to protect me. I know God's going to, provide for me. So why am I going to worry? And it's hard. Don't get me wrong. It's the faith is to do that, to just go blind and just say, hey, God, you are my creator. I trust you. It's hard, right? But you don't just surrender and, let go of that. Now you got to change your thoughts. Okay, now this is what I'm doing now. I've done this for a while. It goes back and forth. My old poverty mindset, I always believe, well, money's scarce. Money's hard to make. Money's hard to get. I'm not abundant. I'm scarce. I'm filled with poverty, right? That's just old programs, old negative beliefs, right? Now I flip that. Money comes to me. Money comes and goes. Money is just a tool for me to help expand the word of God. I'm abundant, etc. God is my source. Everything. Everything God is, I am as well, because God is within me. And so I continue solidifying that into myself. I'm not fighting my old stories. I just know that I'm not that, and I know that I'm this, okay? And you want to get to this point. I love how my coach puts it, coach/friend at this point. He says this, the same way your name is. Let's say your name is Darren, all right? My name's David. That's kind of similar. But let's say your name's Darren, right? And I'm like, your name's Darren. Obviously, you're not going to, think twice that, that's just my name. I'm not going to say it wrong, right? It kind of goes through one ear and out the other. The same way those enemy thoughts go through your mind about you being broke, about money being scarce, about those things that you don't want being true, okay? Same way for me. When I would have those stresses, it would go through my mind, and it would just be so unconscious to me that it's like, oh yeah, that's just life. Money is scarce. I am poor. I can't make money. My money relies on other people. God is not my source, okay? All those unconscious beliefs would just play throughout my mind, okay? But it's our job for us to be able to switch that to being, God is my source. Like the things we want, all right? God being our source, us being abundant, our desires being fulfilled, whatever it is, to be the unconscious part of us. Okay, it's like literally reprogramming ourselves to being the version we want to be, to the point where our old stuff, it sounds crazy. The same way the new stuff that we want sounds crazy, like you making $20,000 tomorrow every single day for the rest of your life sounds crazy, is the same way the version of you who is doing that, they're living the life of making $20,000. I'm not gonna say a day, a month, every single month, consistently, year on and year end. Would it be like if they said that they're gonna be making, $1,000 a month? They would feel like that crazy difference. But you see, the only difference between us and the person we want to be is that they truly know and believe that they are that person. They unconsciously believe that God is their source. They unconsciously believe that they are abundant. They believe money comes and goes. And I'm using money as an example because that was such a big example for me. But it's that unconscious sort of like, they know, okay? And the fact that we create separation between our desired state and us is what's keeping us from getting to what we want. You want to get it to a point where those old programs you have, those, the things you don't want, the money problems, etc., become so like uncanny to you. That becomes so like, whoa, that's not me. And to the point, and then you want to get to the point where, that, and then the new thing that's inside of you is just that you are abundant, that money comes and goes, that God is your source, that all the things that are actually good for you. You want to get it to that point, all right? And you just switch your life like that. That's how you live life. That's how you live life on an easier mode. It's no more force, it's power. It's God's power within you, shining forth to give you the life that you deserve. Maybe I needed to calm down a little bit, eh? But yeah, this is a little short video. Hopefully this made a lot of sense. I'm sorry if it didn't. But I'll do this again another day, hopefully. But I'm still going to post this because it's part of the journey, eh? But yeah. Feel free to subscribe. I am going to be posting a lot more often. This is welcome to the journey. I will be showing you guys how I transform my life as well. Everything I'm saying, I'm doing my very, very best to follow as well. But of course, I have my own mistakes. I'm not perfect. So you guys will see the real and authentic journey of me living in my parents' house. I'm 19 years old at the moment. Graduated high school a year ago. And just been doing this, living life, enjoying it, learning the way as I go, continually surrendering my life to God and spreading His word, spreading His truth. So if you want to join, feel free to join the community, join the family, what do you want to call it? I don't even know what to call this thing. And yeah, I can't wait. God bless. Hope you all enjoy.